Today we're going to talk about standard response protocols for safety drills on our campus. On September 27, 2006, a gunman entered Platte Canyon High School in Bailey, Colorado, and held 7 girls hostage and ultimately shot and killed Emily Keyes. During the time she was held hostage, Emily sent her parents text messages. "I love you guys, and I love you guys, Kay." Emily's kindness, spirit, fierce joy, and the dignity and grace that followed this tragic event define the core of the I Love You Guys Foundation. The mission of the I Love You Guys Foundation was created to restore and protect the joy of youth through educational programs and positive actions in collaboration with families, schools, communities, organizations, governments, and entities. After extensive research, the I Love You Guys Foundation developed this standard response protocol that will respond to any classroom response to any school incident, and that is what we'll be using here at Brook Hollow Elementary. Schools across the country are adopting a universal standard to enhance student safety during an incident or emergency. This is an all-hazard approach that can be implemented during any crisis. The key is that there's a simple shared vocabulary between students, staff, and first responders, and when used, everyone involved shares expectations. It's called the Standard Response Protocol, and it's based on 4 actions that students and staff take during an incident. The actions are lockout, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter. Each action has its own directive. Lock out, secure the perimeter. Lock down, locks, lights, out of sight. Evacuate, to the stated location. Shelter, for hazard using methods. Anytime these are called on the PA, then the action and directive are repeated. For instance, lock out, secure the perimeter. Lock out, secure the perimeter. Let's start with lockout. If there's a threat outside the building, then bring everyone in and lock the outside doors. Usually, lockout is called by district or law enforcement emergency dispatch. Sometimes, lockout is called when staff or students notice something weird or strange. Let's take a quick look at lockout.
Lockout deals with a threat outside of the school. A lockout could be the response to a violent person or incident in the community near your school.
To come back to the building. Students may be asked to go to their homerooms, the cafeteria, or the gym. Teachers, staff, or administration will get the students back into the building. Teachers will then take roll and notify the office of missing or extra students. Increase situational awareness, but conduct class as usual. Now, let's take a quick look at this video.
Lockouts are typically called for by law enforcement officials.
Hi, this is Evan with the Broomfield Police Department.
Or district personnel.
A lockout. Okay, thank you for the information. Bye-bye.
Attention students, we're in lockout, secure the perimeter. Lockout, secure the perimeter.
The goals of a lockout are to get all students and staff inside the building.
Guys, come on in. You need to get inside. Go to the first classroom on the right. Hurry, 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 hurry.
And then lock all exterior doors. In most cases of a lockout, it will be business as usual inside the school. However, in some cases, a lockdown may also be issued in conjunction with a lockout, particularly if the threat is near the school.
Lights out of sight. Lockdown. Locks, lights, out of sight. Lockdown is when there is a threat or danger inside the building.
Lockdown deals with an internal school threat and entails locking interior doors, turning off lights, and hiding. An easy way to remember this is locks, lights, out of sight. Since the threat is already inside the building during a lockdown, there's no advantage to locking any unlocked exterior doors. In fact, locking these doors may put staff unnecessarily at risk. This also allows quick and easy access of law enforcement into your building.
During lockdown, students get out of sight, are quiet, and pay attention. Teachers need to remember locks, lights, out of sight, silence, and take roll. Teachers will lock classroom door, turn the lights out, move away from the corridor line of sight, maintain silence, and take roll and account for all students.
If you are in a classroom when a lockdown is called, the main thing to remember is locks, lights, out of sight. As students gather in a safe area of the room, lock the door and turn off all lights. Have everyone in the room move to a location that is out of sight. Pick an area of the room that can't be seen from interior windows. An actual lockdown may not be resolved for several hours. Here's how you should wait. Stay in the safe location. Don't move around the room. Remain silent. Staff, take written attendance of who is in the room. Note anyone missing and if you have any extra students or staff.
Other considerations are when assessing your personal safety during a lockdown, situations may arise where you have to make a decision. Fire alarms or other conditions may change how you respond in this situation.
If a fire alarm sounds, do not leave your safe location unless you are certain that a fire is threatening your room. If you are forced to evacuate due to a fire, keep in mind that the hall may not be your best escape route. During the initial moments of a school violence situation, the official call for a lockdown may not have occurred or not have been heard by everyone. You need to assess your personal safety. Consider your best option. This may include staying in a classroom behind a locked door, hiding, or evacuating. Self-evacuation, which means exiting the school and leaving the campus, is an option. If you're in a hallway, common area, or near an exterior door, self-evacuation may be your best choice. Once you've arrived at a safe location, you should immediately check in with your parents and the school district to let them know you're safe.
Evacuate is how to move students in an orderly fashion from point A to point B. A fire drill is really evacuate out of the building. With the standard response protocol, evacuate is always followed by a location. For instance, evacuate to the gym, evacuate to the gym. Students, leave your stuff, listen for the evacuation location, and then you may be given additional instructions on how to evacuate. For instance, the fire department or the law enforcement may ask you to evacuate hand in hand or cover your head or even crawl. Some of these methods are for self-protection. Other methods let law enforcement see your hands. Teachers, be sure to grab your role if possible. Often you're in the lead. If evacuating hand in hand, watch your pace around corners and on stairs. Now, let's take a quick look at this video on evacuation.
When law enforcement begins the evacuation, here's what to expect. An officer will unlock your door and enter the room. Stay where you are. The officer will give you specific instructions you must follow.
Broomfield Police Department, you're safe, everything's okay, we're going to get you out of the building. I need everyone to follow my instructions. I need a single file line, leave all your personal property on the floor where it is, form me a single file line right here at the door. Teacher, I need you in front, please.
You will be asked to leave your stuff behind, form a line at the door with the teacher in front.
I need everyone to hold hands with the person to your right and left.
Hold hands with the person in front of and behind you until you reach your final destination. Wait quietly for further instructions from the officer.
Teacher, I need you to walk out, follow the instructions of that officer right there. Go ahead.
You will be told to proceed to the next officer. Walk, do not run, and do not talk.
Walk towards the stairs.
Follow the directions of the officers guiding you during the evacuation. They could be giving you verbal directions,
right to the stairs,
or hand signals. Watch the pace of your line. Be aware of obstacles such as corners, fallen objects, debris, or stairs which may affect the speed your line can move. Don't stop until you reach the location you were directed to.
Keep moving all the way to the end of the fence. All the way to the end of the fence. Keep moving.
Verify attendance and wait for further instructions.
Connor.
Here.
Andrew.
Here.
In the past, we've heard shelter in place, But the standard response protocol gets specific and tells us what hazard and what to do. For instance, shelter for tornado, drop, cover, and hold. Shelter for tornado, drop, cover, and hold. Students need to be sure to listen for the type of hazard and shelter method. Students, when they hear shelter, listen for the hazard like tornado, and then they use the method for self-protection. Teachers need to do the same thing. They need to listen for the type of hazard and shelter method, and then, when possible, take roll to see if the attendance has changed since the beginning of class. Then you'll notify the office if you have missing or extra students or staff. Some examples of hazard are shelter for earthquake, drop, cover, and hold. Shelter for tornado, drop, cover, and hold. Shelter for hazmat, seal the room. Shelter for fire, drop and crawl. Shelter for bomb, drop, cover, and hold. Shelter in silence. The evacuation assembly is where everyone is assembled when we evacuate. At the evacuation assembly, teachers should take roll. On the screen, you'll see this is the red and green and medical card that we can use at evacuations to account for each student. Here's how you use it. At the evacuation destination, take roll and verify the status of your students. If everything's okay, you have no missing or extra students, then fold the sheet to show the green card and hold it where administrators and first responders can see it. If you have missing or extra students or can give responders information, hold up the red card. And if you need medical assistance, hold up the med card. Now let's review. The standard response protocol has 4 simple actions. Lock out, secure the perimeter. Lock down, locks, lights, and out of sight. Evacuate to a location, and shelter for hazard using methods.